Welcome to Animal Audit Corner. Today's brunch. Well, it's not much of a brunch, but much of a brunch. Much of a brunch. Really rhymes, doesn't it? We are going to make oatmeal, and it's not just any other oatmeal. If you have a hard time getting your kids to eat more healthier, do it up a bit. Of course, you know this is Animal Audit Corner. And, you know, I'm in my kitchen every single weekend. But all for the next 4 days, I will be bringing you Thanksgiving dessert. And if I can find a side dish, I will also be doing side dishes too. And today, you know, I'm going to be making oatmeal. Not just any other oatmeal, I just told you. We're going to do it up a little bit so your kids will have something a little bit more healthier to eat. So guess what? We're going to do it up right now. First, we're going to put 1 cup, 1/3 of water. And 1 cup, 1/3 of cider. That's the excellent part where you can get your kids to eat their oatmeal if they refuse to have it. But the only problem is if they're diabetic, they can't really eat it. Yeah, that's the roughest part. Hold on. Okay. Now, and then after the water, we're going to put 1 cup, 1/3 of cider. So let's do it cup, because not only it would have a measure a cup, but it would go over 1/4, 1/3, and 1/2 of it goes over. So yeah, it's a little weird, but guess what? It's a little bit more easier. And guess what? When I went to the supermarket, I ended up getting a deformed bottle of cider. So it is really weird now. All right. Okay. Oh, forgot to tell you, we are also going to finish our chocolate chip cookies. Now, when you grab this out, let it sit out a bit because, well, yeah, it's a little hard, but if you sit it out for a little while, it'll soften up a bit, okay? Now, while it's sitting here, we're going to make our oatmeal. So then we got 1 cup, 1/3 of water. Dump in the 1/3, 1 cup of cider. Okay. And now we're going to let it cook. Oh, yeah. One thing I forgot. Yes, I forgot the spices. Now, if your kid cannot have the sugar that cider has, because it does have loads of sugar, and it looks like your kid will get an attack, and if you choose to have it, you an attack. So check with your doctor first and follow his directions. Because he or she can be easily curve that curiosity. But if they won't, there's nothing you can do about it. But however, depending on how many kids you have, follow the directions on your oatmeal container. But you know what? Mine is a lot different from that. So don't worry. I won't get. Okay. Now, we're going to grab out. Let's see, what are we going to grab? Oh, yeah. We're going to grab out our scoop for our cookie dough. And of course, we have a ladle. Okay, now we're going to mix this up. And now we're going to put our spices in. Now, if you're going to only use water for your kid that has diabetes, okay. But, however, you can use just spices to liven it up a bit. So, better turn this on. Ooh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, we're going to melt this little bottle up. Yeah. Okay, we're going to turn this on. We're going to have it on medium heat. Okay. Now first, we're going to use 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Isn't that great? And yeah. Okay. And then we're going to use 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. So we're going to spice it up a bit. Yeah, it's a way to get your kids to have their nutrition. Of course, if you're going to give your kid the cider, it's enriched with vitamin C. So you can do it every once in a while, even though it has its sugar. But yeah, we gotta get them to eat a little bit more healthier. So I'm gonna close this up. and put it back. Alrighty. Now we're going to stir up the pot so the spices can go all the way through. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to let it boil. Of course, I turned it up a bit, so yeah, I'm on the stream with you, so I'm trying my best not to actually take too long. But guess what? While this is boiling up, yeah, we're going to talk about what's been going on in the cult world, of course. Now, yeah, I think the judge is the judge is totally not being fair to Aaron. First of all, he hasn't broken any laws. He's just been protesting. And yeah, he is having him sit in jail for Thanksgiving. He's not going to be out until December. So this is what's really gets to everybody. Justice is not being served so far. Because for the holidays, Aaron's going to be sitting in jail for Thanksgiving anyway. I don't know what and I found out it's a she. I just don't know her name. It's a she. Is thinking when he's having him sitting in jail. And it's just horrible. So she is not thinking straight. And oh boy, and those girls are going to live without not live without their father, go without their father Thanksgiving, but it looks like Heather's going to be there for the kids anyway. So at least they're going to have their mother, but it's not going to be the same without their father. So it is just horrible what he's going through right now. And while he's sitting in jail, Scientology is getting away with breaking the law. Because we all know slave labor is against the law. Law enforcement does not check on that in Clearwater. Now, is it unfair? Yes, it is. Because all of us, good people, are following the law, while criminals like Scientology are breaking it. Now, is it right? No, it isn't, but I guess that's what happens in the world when you have money. You can pay for any lawyer you want, but still, you can't break the law. Because people will get hurt. If the justice system doesn't do their job. The prosecutor's not doing their job by having them arrested, the DA. So they're continuing to break the law. And they're let them get away with breaking the law. Alrighty. soften it up a bit. Now, we're going to keep on stirring this every now and then so it can cook right through with our cider base or water base, whatever you choose to give your kid. So, and yeah, some parents won't give their kids sweets anymore. I wouldn't if I had any. But every now and then, yeah, I'll give them the sugar cereal. But otherwise, yeah, no sugar cereal. But it's, yeah, sometimes it's a little confusing, isn't it? So stir up this, or stir up the water with the spices in it. All right. Because that'll get your kid to actually have their little treat when you have the spices in. I know it's not much of a brunch in early Sunday. Okay, now, what else is going on? You know, William Good was on Aaron's channel, even though he's occupied in jail, which is pretty much unfair, while Scientology's running around loose. But he was on his show with Natalie hosting. Now, all this week, or whatever time everybody in SPTV has been filling in for Aaron on his show. So donate to his channel and grab out the PayPal account and see if you can give him a little help by covering his fees for his defense. So he could actually have the fair trial he deserves. And that's just it. When you have money, you get to pay for the best defense lawyers. And of course, you know, some of them do break the law. Look at Monique Mingling. She is going by Miscavige's every whim. Now, I don't know what other attorneys. Oh, Kendrick Moxon. That's it. Kendrick Moxon also goes out on his whim. And those two are breaking the law big time. Because you know, Kendrick Moxon's daughter died from the parent's suicide. It wasn't a squirrel that she was trying to get loose away from that electric volt box or whatever. She died from suicide. She couldn't take being a day without her husband. And yeah, she was married at a young age. She was a young teenager. So she just killed herself. And yeah, he's just the most evil bastard in the world. And Monique Mingling, she is no better than he is. Because guess what? Not only he's been paying for his legal fees in the courtroom, but it looks like she's been, now I can't prove it and neither can anyone else, but it looks like she's pretty much been finding ways to help him break the law, even though none of us can prove it, because he's definitely paying her something. And we're talking about the man who disconnected from his family altogether. That's what a cult does. They separate people from their families and isolate them. Okay, it's almost coming to a boil. Okay. Oh, I wish you can smell those spices. So we got the cider base, 1 cup, 1/3, and the water, 1 cup, 1/3. And then we're going to have it come to a boil. And then we're going to add 1.5 cups of the oats. And that is a great way to get your kids to eat a little bit more healthier. But if they can't have the cider due to their diabetic, use the water, put the 1 teaspoon of cinnamon in, and then put the 1/2 of nutmeg in. Yes, it is going to be fabulous. Okay, it's going to almost come to a boil. So, okay. Yeah. Before, I never needed to actually use glasses, but now I do. I am now 55 years old, and yeah, as you get older, everything wears down on you, especially your sight, the elasticity around your eyes, the muscle around your eyes weaken. So the eye doctor gave me glasses as a fan. Oh, I don't want glasses, but guess what? I need them for reading. So if I read, I'm gonna need that. And let's see. All right, let's see here. We got the oven on 350, heat it up to 150, but we're gonna do the oats first. So we're gonna have it come to a boil. Yeah, I turned it up a little. Even though you have it on low heat, usually you're supposed to have that on to low and medium heat so it doesn't burn. But in this case, we're going to speed up the process a little bit. But however, I'm standing right here. Nothing possibly can go wrong. So, and, well, you keep your fingers crossed because Christmas is the biggest holiday. And Aaron's got to be home with his kids. And, of course, okay, keep donating his money to his defense fund. And we're going to have to see what we can do to get Scientology to follow the laws like everybody else. Because guess what? In Clearwater and in Los Angeles, my God, they would have been letting them get away with breaking the law. Of course, we all know if we break the law, we're going to have to suffer the consequences. But it looks like Scientology is not. Is it fair for everybody else who's following the law, but they're not? Because guess what? They're into money laundering, human trafficking, they human traffic slave labor. Yeah. And they also been paying them $50 an hour to work 10 to 15 hours straight. That's not healthy. So I'm going to see what I can do on my end, because I know a couple of lawyers, but I'm not going to say what's going to go on in the background, because if they know, then they're going to find some way around it. So they're not going to know that attorney's name, because I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that they don't know the attorney that's going to work in the background. So you're thinking, you don't have the money, but you know what? You don't know what's going to happen in the background, right? So, yeah. You have to follow the law. You cannot go around breaking laws. And I am talking to you, Scientology. Follow the law like everybody else. You want to be a religion? Fine. But at the same time, you break the law, you should suffer the consequences just like everybody else. But you know what? So far, having just a little bit, even though it's not enough, and we still got a long way to go, because guess what? Danny Masterson, oh good, it's going to come to a boil. Danny Masterson is sitting in prison right now, 30 years to life, hello. And there are a couple of women that break the law who was a part of Scientology. Now, they stole money and gave it to Scientology, but however, they got caught, but then Scientology gave it back. They should have been arrested right there, but since they gave it back, there's nothing we can do about it, because technically, if they give something back, they can't be prosecuted for it. So, what else? And Denver J got attacked by a Scientologist. Justice was served with that. But I'm thinking he's out by now. Okay, it came to a boil. All right, now we're going to put in our oats. All righty. Okay. We're going to put in 1 cup. 1 cup, 1/2 of oats. Yeah, I have to get it out. Go figure, huh? Okay. This is 1/2. I can't really see. Okay. And 1/2 of oats. Oh, I wish you could smell those spices. What a way to get your kid to, a little bit more healthier. So, oats are really, really good for your heart. So, it's really heart friendly. So, stir this up. Okay. What a way to get your kid to eat more healthy, huh? And I'm going to stir this up. Let it cook. Okay. We're going to let it bubble up so the oats can cook up. Yeah, you can just smell those spices. Okay. All right. Now, Am I going to give the names out of the lawyers and the people in the background, whether it's the mayor or the police department? No. All right. Because, yeah, as we know, Scientology is good at hiding. Okay. Because not only David Miscavige brainwashes, and if he's not there, the people who are running those pathetic Scientology churches is doing it. So, okay. All right, it looks like it's done. All right. Now we're going to shut off the heat. It doesn't really take that long for oatmeal to make because it only takes about maybe a minute or two. So I'm going to put it in. Yeah, that's right. It's a big bowl, so half of these, depending. Yeah, if you got apples, put in a couple of apples in. It'll really do it up. Forgot about the apples. Of course, I used it all for applesauce, but you know what? Stick in the applesauce, it would be even greater. Of course, I've been having a rough time opening up that container because, oh man, it's been such a struggle. Okay. And here it is. So that looks so great. All right, we shut off the heat. Okay. Now, while I'm off to the side, I'll be taking bites here and there, but it's going to be off to the side. You won't see it. So, all righty. There. Now we're going to work on our chocolate chip cookies. All right, it did soften up a little bit since it sat out. Shouldn't I did it yesterday? Possibly. So we are going to now we are actually going to bake our chocolate chip cookies today. All right. Now, all right. It looks like when you're done mixing it together, the texture I have is just a little bit thick. Maybe you can bake it the same day you make the dough. So, all right. Okay. All right. Here we go. And make sure, I have to make sure that none of my dough pops into my laptop. Let me move it back a little bit. All right, there we go. Now, so this is made of butter. Butter melts and it won't really stick to the pan. So it looks like you have to flatten it a bit. Okay. Take the spoon. Okay. Now, of course, you know the holidays are coming. Now, and you know, some of the Scientologists who chooses to celebrate the holidays are not with their families due to the fact that Scientology is being very selfish and greedy. And of course, I'm getting fair game. Of course, they might not be out in front of my door, but they're hacking into my computer. And I got it fixed so I can get back on. But at the same time, every time I go to promote my channel, they're there deleting my work. Because every time I go to the X site, they take it and they say, oh, we're going to check it before. No, they're not allowed to do that. And they're not being reported to law enforcement. This is what is, yeah, they're not getting shut down. Is it unfair? Yes. Now, why should they run loose while other people who break the law have to suffer the consequences while they don't? And if it was one of us, we'd be sitting in jail right now, awaiting trial. If we got found guilty, guess what? We will be spending a certain amount of years in prison if we break the law. But no, Scientology seems to get away with it. Of course, it looks like we are talking to AI because every time I'm going to the chat, talking with an agent, supposedly, it really sounds like we're talking to AI. So, do I have any proof? No. But yeah, they've been hacking into computers too. But you know what? I'm just glad they're not outside my door, because things can get dangerous and somebody can get hurt. Of course, at the same time, I haven't been okay. Now put this in a flat motion because it looks like, yeah, so when it sits in the refrigerator, sometimes it just hardens up. So take it and flatten it up a bit. And of course, this is the greatest thing that a kid can have during the holidays. So, alrighty. Now, and all you guys know, Thanksgiving's 4 days away. So, we are going to get ready for Thanksgiving. And then, after Thanksgiving, guess what? I am making plans for the Christmas holiday to decorate a tree and get everything prepared for the holidays. Alrighty. And all right, flatten this. Of course. Yeah, it looks like it's working pretty good. Now put about 3 rows. Good. All right. Now, same time we're going to be flattening it. All right. And you know, Scientologists don't celebrate the holidays. Well, not Christmas anyway. That's the only thing I'm aware of. They use Christmas to recruit. They don't celebrate Christmas. So, do they celebrate Thanksgiving? Possibly, because if usually more likely, when they're working, they have a Thanksgiving meal, unless they grab it away from them and make them eat the beans and rice. Not fair. And of course, yeah, David Miscavige should be ashamed of himself. But he never is. He's shameless. So, and since I'm on my channel, it is working out pretty good since I am on, but let's see. Now, can you still steal it? You know what, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look into that. But I would probably say no. Okay, there we go. Now, of course, I don't have any kids. It's a little unfair. Yes and no. I mean, so far, I didn't really like the guys that I've been seeing. And, of course, now it's impossible to have kids in my 50s because menopause sets in. And other women get lucky and still have their periods when they're 60 years old. But eventually, I know that they're going to get it. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe if I end up with somebody, maybe I'll adopt or have foster kids in my house. Of course, I'm going to have to be clean because I'm going to have to set an example. And plus, a kid can have asthma. Do I clean? Oh my gosh, I am just so lazy. So I try to. Of course, you have to keep a clean house. Because not only it sets an example for your kids or adopted kids, but they're still your kids. Even though they're not biological yours, they're still your kids. Okay. Now we're going to stick this in the oven. Oh boy. Oh jeez. You know what? This is there's more pans in there, so I'm gonna have to get them out without getting burned. So let's see here. Alrighty. All right, there we go. All right. All right. So we're gonna put this in. Okay. All right. Boy, I wish you can taste that oatmeal. It tastes great. It is so spicy and so good. But guess what? When you have oatmeal for breakfast, eventually you can sit the spices right on the table along with the sugar. But today I use cider, so it's maybe it's gonna be too sweet when you give it to your kids. So maybe skip the sugar, but have spices on your table, and maybe a kid can eat it. Finally, you'll get your kid to eat get them to eat a little bit healthier. Yeah, but some kids do eat healthier and they know how important it is, but the other half don't want to live that way. They want sugar. So, all righty. All right. Now, okay. All right. Okay, and now we're going to put this in. All right, let's see, what else is there to talk about? You know what? Hold on for 1 second. Yeah, there it is. I guess somebody's been hacking into my phone because it's not my everyday sound. And is it coming from Scientology, Dad? I don't know. So it looks like I'm going to have to find a service that will actually keep an eye on my phone. So, okay. All right, there we go. Now, yeah, it's back to its regular sound. Is Scientology hacking into it? That I don't know, because you know how AI gets. Yeah, it could be AI too. It could be several things too at the same time. But if it's AI, it'll tell you. But that's if you have a security on your phone, because sometimes it's AI that's doing that. Now, what am I? Let's see. Okay. What else is there to talk about? So you won't have dead air. Well, let me think here. Okay, let me see. All right. Okay, let me think. Now, I know I subscribe to Serge's channel. Now, what is going on here? Is it Scientology working in the background again? Because guess what? I know I subscribe to his channel. So, it is unbelievable. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can get information about what's going on in my channel. There we go. All right, we're going to put this one in. All right. Looks like it's going pretty good, so. Okay. Am I going to go out today? Yes, I am. I'm definitely going out. So. And I'm going to pick up a vase, another vase, so I can work on another one. And today, I am going to try and get the SPTV community to notice me. Because it looks like everybody's getting their fair share of views because it looks like they're helping one another. But at the same time, okay, granted, they might not know about me. But it'll be okay. But at the same time, I have a great show. I do have a few viewers here and there, but it's not the same. And if the SP community doesn't know about you, of course, they're not going to have you on their show. Of course, I've been working relentlessly to try and get somebody on my show. Okay. But at the same time, I sent the link to Natalie, but I guess she didn't look at it. You know what? I'm gonna. Okay. Now, you know, kids love their cookies, so that's why I'm making them. Now, since it's countdown to Thanksgiving, guess what? I will definitely be on tomorrow to count down the holidays. So this means today is the 23rd. Alrighty, here we are. All right, there. We are officially done. All right, now I'm going to check on our other cookies. All right, it's looking pretty good. Now we're going to put this in. All right. Now, should be melting on its side, but it's not. Okay. So, now I will be making more side dishes if I can come about them. And I am definitely gonna go shopping. So today I'm gonna get more vases if I could. I'm gonna check to see what glass vase I can buy for my craft corner. And I will be doing something for the holidays when it comes to painting up my vase. And should I sell my other work that's on canvas? What do you think, people? Put it at the link down below. Let me know. Or if for some reason you can't get to my link, go to the bottom. And my email's there. Let me know what you think. All right. Now, it has been an hour already. So I'm just waiting for my chocolate chip cookies to get ready because I'm going to show you what a clumpy. But it is amazing. If you can taste that hint of cider and that spice, it's great. It is certainly great. And that's a way to get your kids to eat a little bit more healthier because it's enriched with vitamin C. But at the same time, blend it with water because guess what? That water's also good for you. But every now and then you can splurge. So, but if you can't have it due to diabetes and your kids can't have it due to diabetes, use the spices. Use the spices. So let's check on it. Yeah, it's getting great. Of course, if it's brown at the bottom, I'm gonna have to pull it out. So it's, oh my gosh, this is so fabulous. Oh boy, this is a little cold, so I'm gonna have to pop it in the microwave. All right, now every holiday, especially Thanksgiving, I usually go to my brother's house. Now, for one reason why I'm not having Thanksgiving in my house, there's no way I'm going to bring people in the messy house. I try to clean, but for some reason I feel like it's too overwhelming, but it eventually gets clean. And the second reason, nobody wants my vegan food. So there won't be any turkey in my house. So of course, usually, no. Some people just don't want it. So that's just the way it goes. Okay. Now, let's check on our cookies. Oh, it looks like it's melting pretty good. Now, I want to see the little bit of the brown at the bottom because guess what? I want to know that it's really cooked. Really. Even though it doesn't have any eggs. I know that for sure. And in the butter is good. Alrighty, and let me think here. Okay. Yeah, but still you're gonna have to have it in the refrigerator overnight. But it looks like my recipe could be used the same day because I had it in the refrigerator and it's solid as a rock. So I had to sit a little. So that's the way it goes. But yeah, when you prepare, you can have it in the oven the same day or night, whatever. So you won't have to wait. But if you want to have it in the refrigerator just overnight, well, okay, I can't stop you. But okay, and let's see. Usually I have my nieces and nephews by blood and by marriage. Of course, my sister-in-law has her nieces and nephews, and she is from a huge family. She's the youngest of 9 kids. Imagine being in a household like that. I always dreamed of having a household like that. But since I had ADHD, I was always away as a child. And of course, ADHD did not come onto the map until 1986. By then, I was a teenager. So it was a little hard, but you know what? Eventually, I did learn. And what really did it was because I had the will to learn. I really, really wanted to learn. So that's why I know how to read. I did not goof off when it comes to education. And I had my love of theater. And because that's where I got most of it. So through the years, I've been reading scripts, been going to auditions. And of course, sometimes when you get older, it's scarce. But you know what? I found a way to do it. And it's through YouTube. I get to hang out with you guys. So far, I have 158 views. Not bad, huh? I don't mind having a small audience, really. And I really entertained, but guess what happened? The gig that I made, the script that I made for this show, the monologue I made, it didn't turn out so well. Now, why? It could be anything. It can be anything from the AI or the laptop itself, or somebody's been hacking into my computer and messed with it. Yeah. And I know it's probably Scientology. Because guess what? Oh, I'm saying horrible things about Scientology. Oh, that woman's being so negative. Well, guess what? You act negative, you're going to get a negative response. So that's your tough luck. So learn how to behave. And I feel like I'm the mother talking to a child, but you know what? I guess sometimes those things happen. Oh, gosh. All right, it's turning out perfect. Now, it looks like it's done, but however, I don't want it to rip apart, so I'm going to leave it in there a little bit more longer, so it'll be brown at the bottom. Is it supposed to be brown at the bottom? Probably not, but I feel so comfortable having it that way. Is it going to burn? No, I'm going to make sure it doesn't burn. It's the oatmeal. It's really good. But at the same time, don't let it sit too long because guess what? It's going to get lumpy. Eventually, it's going to get lumpy. So, and what else is up? Okay. I don't have it on live chat, excuse me. So what else is going on? All right. One of you viewers told me to try live chat. I have it on live chat now, so you can come on. So, and those of you who've been popping on to my channel, thank you very much. Because now I have 158 views. And is it successful? Well, I'm not getting paid yet, but guess what? You guys have been coming on because guess what? There's 158 of you. So no one person can be 158 people. No, for that, they're going to have to divide themselves up. But no, I don't think so. I think people have been coming on their own free will. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. Here's one. Doesn't that look so great? It's a little brown at the bottom, I would think. Yeah, it's perfect. It is just so perfect, and I wish you can smell it. So now, each little by little, I will be taking them out and put it in a wrap, and I will put it in the refrigerator until Thanksgiving Day, because you know how much kids love their cookies. And so I will be having them. And I will be cooking side dishes and sweets for the holidays. So guess what? I got the pleasure of doing it, and nobody can stop me from doing it. That's right. Neither can Scientology. Because while I'm cooking or baking, guess what? I am going to talk about Scientology and the rotten things that they're doing until they either wise up and not use their abusive practices or get shut down altogether. So hopefully they're following the law and treating their members with respect. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, and here's another one. Yes, isn't that a hoot? So we have our cookies out. And so that means, you know what? Let's cut out. Since I showed you all the great cookies that I made. Of course, yeah, boy. Maybe I'll have it a little bit more in the oven. But these are definitely done. So guess what? We're going to cut out right now. And soon, guess what? I will be having my merch store. I'll connect the link to it. And guess what? I already took pictures of all my vases yesterday. And guess what? Not only I'll have my merch store, I have a bigger surprise for you too. So hang in there. And I will be having my merch store. So, and if you want to contribute to my channel, if I can get my Buy Me a Coffee up, I mean, I have it in the link, but if you have a hard time with it, I guess you can use my PayPal. If you don't want to use it, that's fine. I'm not going to make you, but I'm going to use it to pay for my internet connections. So, hit the like, press subscribe, and I'm going to see you tomorrow for my next recipes. Adios.